Good evening. At this time, we will call the October 20th, 2015 meeting of the Yukon City Council to order. If you would rise for the invocation by Kent Mullins of the First Church of the Nazarene and remain standing for the flag salute, please.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this day that you have given to us. We thank you, God, for our leadership and for our city. We pray, God, that you would help them and guide them in decision-making process. Continue to have your hand upon our country and leadership and guide and direct. And we give it to you this day. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Alberts.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
McCarran.
Here.
Smystrela.
Here.
Yonda.
Here.
This evening, during our presentations and proclamation, we are honored to have Staff Sergeant Mark Mercer here this evening, and he is the United States Army Staff Sergeant of the Year, and he lives here in our community. And as one of our citizens, we would like to recognize you. If you and your family would like to come forward, and I'll meet you around front, please. We have the Yukon's Best Citizenship Award, and it's presented to outstanding citizens here in our community. And I know you probably didn't sign up for awards like this, but we are certainly honored, and I know that I speak for everybody here in our room and our community, that you would reside here with us. And not only what you do for us here in this community, our state, but just for our country. And we thank you so much. And I have to say that I think that it was maybe your wife that got you involved in this situation. I think you sent me an email, and but I appreciate it. It's nice to know that we have people like your husband that live here, and he deserves a recognition, and we want to say thank you. And it's just a little piece of paper, but we hope that it means something to you, that we recognize that you mean so much to us here in our community. Thank you very much. You mind sharing a little bit with us this evening, the people on TV, about what you do and how'd you earn this award?
Well, first off, this means a lot. I was born and raised here in Yukon, Oklahoma. I graduated in 2002 before I started my military journey. I'm actually a drill sergeant. Bubba, you'll be all right. I'm actually a drill sergeant in the reserves with the 95th out of Norman, Oklahoma. So I train all the new recruits that are coming to the United States Army. I've done this since 2009. The title I hold is 2015 United States Army Reserve Drill Sergeant of the Year. It starts with competitions at the battalion level, which is against a couple people, and then as you win one competition, you move up to the next one, and the top is trade-on. The reserves has approximately 3,000 drill sergeants in it, and so throughout the competitions, as I progressed, the last competition was held at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. It was 4 days. It was waking up at 3, 12-mile road marches, unexpected 2.5-mile runs, teaching soldiers every possible task if there are any military people in here. Anything you experienced or did in basic, that's what we had to teach, and we were graded on everything. And out of the 3,000, a bunch of people decided that I was the best. So I guess my wife thought I needed to be recognized. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to the city of Yukon. And thanks to the mayor.
All right, the next part of the meeting is the visitor section of the meeting, and tonight we have Daryl Andrews that's here this evening, and I believe that he is going to address the council. 3 young ladies, if you guys would come forward and introduce yourselves. I apologize. I didn't even. Yes, ma'am. Why are you here?
Hi, I'm Emily Lewis. I'm the OASC State Secretary.
Congratulations.
I'm Alejandra Cruz, and I'm the Student Committee Chair for Saturday Night Mixer.
I'm Brooke Bunny, and I am the Donations Committee Chair and also the Packets and Bags Committee Chair.
Great. Well, what brings you here?
All right, well, we are hosting a Student Council State Convention this November 7th through 9th. We're going to have students from all over the state coming to Yukon and hearing keynote speakers and going to workshops and connecting with other students from across the state and getting to know people and just getting involved in like the student council that Oklahoma has set up and hearing about nationals trips, the summer camps and workshops that we have over the summer. So it's just a really great way for students to get involved, and it's a great way for our community to get involved with the lives of these students. And it's definitely been a growing experience for the Yukon Student Council. We've been working really hard on it, and it's coming up so fast, and we're really excited, and we would love for any of you all to join us and see what we've been doing. So thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
What,
Okay.
When is it?
November 7th through 9th.
Okay. And how can the community or the city help?
Well, Brooke can talk to you some more about that. She's going to talk to you guys about donations.
Okay.
Yeah. And Al Hunter will tell you more about like who's all coming and things like that. So we're not quite done yet.
you might also mention how many you anticipate participating.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're expecting all different student councils from all the state around the state of Oklahoma, as far as like Guyman and Norman and stuff, and we're expecting around 2,800 delegates. And it's going to be one of the larger conventions the OASC has had, so it's going to be really great that we have the facilities to offer that, and you know, we get to show off our school and show what great things we have here in Yukon.
Okay, so I always get to talk about donations. You guys love me, I know. So we have donation letters. I think I failed to bring some with me tonight. I'm sorry about that. But we have several different levels of donorship that is offered, where you can, there's tons of different ways that you can get involved with that. Also, we're having our general sessions, and if one of you guys, the mayor, anybody would like to come and just kind of welcome everyone to Yukon, anything like that, we would love to have you. We also have a official program that I'm in charge of, having to put that together. So if you guys would like to write kind of a welcome to Yukon type thing for everyone, just to kind of help the delegates feel welcome to Yukon, because we want them to go back home and be like, wow, Yukon's great, and want to come back here just to visit, come shop, come eat, come do whatever they can here. So is there any questions?
Do you have any of those donation letters with you this evening, possibly?
I think I might have a couple I can see, though.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Are you going to wait until after the meeting?
No, I can look right now. You want me to look?
No.
Oh.
So we can talk?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you been involved in student
A
council?
long time ago. So I was a secretary,
Okay,
So.
awesome.
probably when about the time your parents were born. Okay. But if
Absolutely.
you'll wait, I would like to talk with you. I had an email earlier today, and I
Okay.
sent back, so I just need some information, and if I'm available, I certainly would like to help. And
Absolutely. All three of us will be here afterwards. If any of you would like to come and ask any questions, we'd be happy to talk to any of you and ask any of your or answer any of your questions.
yes, ma'am. Thank you
Uh-huh,
so much.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else turn in a letter for the
No, sir.
visitor section? Anyone else that didn't turn in? This is a visitor section. If you would like to address the council about a non-agenda item and you're here this evening, please come forward. Seeing none at this time, we'll recess as the Yukon City Council, and we will reconvene as the Yukon Municipal Authority. The first item is item 1A. That's the YMA consent docket. This item is placed on the agenda so the Yukon Municipal Authority, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine items they wish to be approved by one motion. If an item does not meet with the approval of all authority members, that item will be heard in regular order. The city manager recommends a motion to approve A, the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 6th, 2015. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Russell,
Yes.
Smystrela,
Yes.
McCarron,
Yes.
Yonda,
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes. The next item is 2A, and Mr. Williams, if you would help to read this agenda item, I would appreciate it.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, good evening. This is renewal of the existing note that the Yukon Municipal Authority has with Yukon National Bank. It's in the amount of $4.8 million. It was a one-year note. It matures on the 30th of October, and this authorizes a replacement note for that 2014 note. Now, I have delivered to you tonight modified documents, both this authority resolution and also the city council resolution. You should have two new documents before you, and they both deal with the treatment of so-called qualified tax exempt obligations as provided for by the Internal Revenue Code. And our prior practice would have been to designate this note as qualified tax exempt obligations for 2015. However, since this is a replacement note, a refunding of the 2014 existing note, we're utilizing that qualified tax exempt obligation status from 2014, which we're allowed to do. And the reason that we did it was we did some rather complicated, from a tax standpoint, transactions in the spring, as you remember, that were very favorable to the city and YMA, and we're trying to ensure consistency with what we said with respect to the issuance of those notes in the spring.
Okay. If you would read the resolution, the language, please.
I'll be glad to read it. It does not have to be read. The ordinance must be read, but I'd be glad to read it.
Just the agenda item is what I think.
Oh, the agenda
Yeah,
item.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
The heading,
Yes.
The
if
heading.
you would.
Sorry.
Yes, this is agenda item 2A, which is to consider and approve resolution number YMA 2015-06, a resolution authorizing the issuance of the Yukon Municipal Authority 2015A revenue note, the revenue note, in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $4.8 million, waiving competitive bidding and authorizing said revenue note to be sold at a price less than par by negotiated sale within the limits provided by Title 60 Oklahoma Statute, Section 176, authorizing and improving documents, procedures, and payments related to issuance of the revenue note, designated the revenue note as qualified tax exempt obligations as contained in the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, providing that the trust indenture shall be subject to provisions of the revenue note, ratifying a lease agreement and operation and maintenance contract between the City of Yukon and the Yukon Municipal Authority, and agreeing that the terms of the lease shall extend so long as the revenue note remains outstanding and unpaid.
Mr. Williams, we apologize, but I believe that was the wrong one.
Did you read that from the agenda, Mr. Williams?
I did.
If I could hand you, now that you're warmed up. Yes, sir.
Your resolution header has changed just a little bit from how it was published in the agenda.
The resolution header has changed. Instead of saying, let me get the precise, designating the revenue note as qualified tax exempt obligations.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to interrupt, but just procedurally, Mike, do we need to start over?
No, I don't think.
So as long as he reads the corrected language, we'll be fine?
Just the corrected.
And I apologize, Mr. Williams, just want to get it right.
Now, the change, instead of that language, it says providing for issuance of the revenue note as qualified tax exempt obligations. Now, incidentally, the agenda language is correct. I mean, we're dealing with the designation of this particular note as qualified tax exempt obligations. However, for sake of uniformity, with respect to the notes that were issued in the spring, the title to this resolution and language within this resolution, we changed to providing for issuance of the revenue note. For all practical purposes, in terms of the Open Meeting Act, they mean exactly the same.
Okay. Are we all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Mr. Williams, is there any additional information you want to provide to the council, or?
4/5. Right?
Pardon?
Isn't it 4/5?
Yes, it takes a 4/5 vote. Yes, indeed.
Are we sure?
We're sure.
Okay.
We're all over that one. Like a chicken on a bun, baby.
Little inside joke. Call the roll, please.
Yonda.
Oh,
Yes.
did we have a motion?
Yes,
In
we
a
did.
second.
Have a motion.
All right, call the roll, please. I'm so funny, I confused myself.
Yes.
Call the roll, please.
McCarron.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes.
Smystrela.
Yes.
And I apologize for hamming it up, but thank you so much for helping me out. All right, at this time, we'll adjourn as YMA and reconvene as the Yukon City Council. The first item is item number 1, and that's the consent docket. This item is placed on the agenda so the Yukon City Council, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine items they wish to be approved by one motion. If an item does not meet with the approval of all council members, that item will be heard in regular order. The city manager recommends a motion that will approve A, the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 6th, 2015, B, the payment of material claims in the amount of $522,942.34, and C, setting the date of the next regular council meeting for November the 3rd, 2015 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the Centennial Building, 12 South 5th Street in Yukon, Oklahoma. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll, please.
McCarron.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes.
Yonda.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Smystrela.
Yes.
And the next item is item number 2, and that deals with Resolution 2015-21. Mr. Williams, would you assist us? And let me give you the...
I actually have it,
Yes, sir.
and I'm going to read from the title of Resolution 2015-21.
Yes, sir.
A resolution approving the incurrence of indebtedness by the Yukon Municipal Authority, the authority issuing its 2015 revenue note, the revenue note, in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $4.8 million, waiving competitive bidding and authorizing said revenue note to be sold at a price less than par by negotiated sale within the limits provided by 60 Oklahoma statutes, Section 176, authorizing and improving a sales tax agreement, providing security for the revenue note, providing for issuance of the revenue note as qualified tax-exempt obligations under the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, providing that the trust indenture shall be subject to provisions of the revenue note, a ratification of lease agreement and operations and maintenance contract between the city and the authority, and agreeing that the term of the lease shall extend so long as the revenue note remains unpaid, and authorization of documents and procedures related to issuance of the revenue note.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Alberts.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Yonda.
Yes.
Smystrela.
Yes.
McCarron.
Yes.
The next item is item 3, and that's consider approving ordinance number 1327, an ordinance amending section 2-137B of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Yukon by determining that certain obligations, including the Yukon Municipal Authority 2015 revenue note in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $4,800,000, do not exceed debt limitations, repealing all conflicting ordinance provisions, and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion, please?
This one does need to be read in
The
full.
whole, yes,
The ordinance.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
after the motion.
We have a motion and a second. That's fine.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Williams? Oh, yes, okay, yes. So it's the same at these. Okay.
Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Yukon, Oklahoma, Section 1, the Code of Ordinances of the City of Yukon is hereby amended by amending the existing language of Section 2-137B which new section 2-137B is set out in its entirety below, to wit, B, the following bonds and indebtednesses are conclusively determined to be within and not to exceed the limitations of section 2-137A or any debt limitation of the Code of Ordinances or the Charter of the City, and any conflicting provisions of the Code of Ordinances of the City are modified to the extent necessary to fully validate the following. 1. Yukon Municipal Authority Sales Tax and Utility System Revenue and Refunding Bond, Series 2012, in the aggregate principal amount of $6,500,000. Item 2. Yukon Municipal Authority Sales Tax and Utility System Revenue and Refunding Bonds, Series 2013, in the aggregate principal amount of $8,500,000. Item 3. Yukon Municipal Authority 2014 Revenue Note in the aggregate principal amount of $4,800,000. Item 4. Yukon Municipal Authority Sales Tax Revenue Note, Series 2015A, in the principal amount of $9,520,000. Item 5. Yukon Municipal Authority Sales Tax Revenue Note, Series 2015B, in the aggregate principal amount of $5,805,000. Item 6. Yukon Municipal Authority Revenue Note, Series 2015, in the aggregate principal amount of $2,400,000. Item 7. Yukon Municipal Authority 2015A Revenue Note in the principal amount of $4,800,000. Page 2, Section 2. Repealer. All provisions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Yukon which are inconsistent with the foregoing are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict, it being intended that the foregoing ordinance shall supersede and modify any conflicting provisions contained in the Code of Ordinances of the City of Yukon. Section 3, Emergency, where it is necessary for the immediate preservation of peace, health, and safety of the citizens and residents of the City of Yukon, Oklahoma, that the foregoing ordinance be enacted, and that the provisions of this ordinance become effective immediately. An emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval as provided by law.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll have a separate vote on the emergency.
Yes, sir.
And this likewise takes 4 of 5 affirmative votes.
Questions? Questions? Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Smystrela,
Yes.
Yonda,
Yes.
Alberts,
Yes.
McCarron,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
The next item is 3A, consider approving the emergency clause of ordinance number 1327.
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll.
Alberts,
Yes.
Smystrela,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Yonda,
Yes.
McCarron.
Yes.
The next item is 4, and that's consider approving ordinance number 1328, an ordinance which provides amendment to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Yukon, Oklahoma by amending section 114-35 by providing for sanitary sewer rates for the use and maintenance of the sanitary sewer system and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
I guess,
Don't you need to read the ordinance?
Not really.
Okay,
We do when we're doing financing stuff.
okay, okay.
We're all right?
I just like, I read some of the notes and stuff ahead of time, and I'd like for Grayson to comment on the fact we're gonna actually be able to close this out, I guess, and do it earlier, or is there gonna be so?
3 years ago, we set about the task of unbuckling our sewer rates from our water rates. Before that, sewer rates had always been calculated as a percentage of your water bill. Beginning 3 years ago, that cost was the sewer bill was based on the cost to actually treat wastewater in the city. At that time, we had we had fallen behind on our cost to treat the water, and we found it necessary to institute 20% increases for 5 years to take effect October 1st billing cycle, the bill that is sent out during the last week of October of each year. Also, historically, the city had charged a much higher rate during the winter months, just short of $7 a thousand during the winter months for wastewater treatment. And during the summer months, we would charge less than half, or just about half of that amount during the summer as well. Not that our costs changed that much, but that was a way of recognizing irrigation systems and gardens in particular. What we have found is that that winter changeover from summer to winter, that occurred on the October rate as well. So you ended up with sewer bills that were significantly larger, and they all hit at one time. The purpose of doing it that way was to equalize the amount of money that we, the revenue stream for sewer with the amount of money for water, where they are equal and can stand on their own. What we found with J.I. and Terry's help, they did a really great job in researching and analyzing all of the formula that it takes that goes into creating a sewer rate table. They worked on it for several months, and what you have before you in this ordinance does in fact suspend forever the 20% rate increase. It then, instead of having a artificially imposed rate increase, it goes to the CPI increase. And I guess this is as good a time to tell you that the CPI rate increase that we have for this year is 0.3%, so virtually nothing for a rate increase. By going from a two-rate system, a dual rate system, to a one-rate system, we are also going to be able to equalize our revenue streams from water and wastewater, while at the same time all of the small user, in other words, less than 4,000 gallons per month, which really and truly is most of the people in town on a fixed income, that rate stayed exactly the same as it was last year and has been for several years. So all in all, it's a win-win for the city, for our rate payers in the city, and moving forward it will keep us solid both on the wastewater side as well as the water treatment side.
Right. There was some mention when we discussed this before about, where we stood as far as our rates are concerned competitively with all of the other cities, and I assume we stayed in the same position, or about, we didn't go up or down in that, or anything?
First of all, it is very difficult to do a true comparison because everybody in the whole metro area tries to differentiate themselves when it comes to rates. But generally speaking, what we have found is that we were at the average. We have stayed in the average range. We hope to be just slightly above average as it relates to all the metro communities around us, and we are there. And we'll stay there.
Thank you.
Anything else? Ladies, discussion? Call the roll, please.
Yonda.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
McCarron.
Yes.
Smystrela.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes. The next item is item 4A, and that's consider approving the emergency, please. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll, please.
McCarron.
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes.
Smystrela.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Yonda.
Yes.
The next item is item 5, and that's consider approving ordinance number 1329, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of Yukon, Oklahoma, prohibiting the use of handheld electronic communication devices while operating a motor vehicle in certain circumstances, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date of November 1, 2015, and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
I spoke to our attorney just prior to the meeting tonight, and I asked him to clarify that a little bit in certain circumstances so that people understand it a little more clearly. You don't have to lock up your cell phone in your glove box, you know, while you're operating your car, but there are certain things behind it. And it also brings us more in compliance. Am I correct with the state law that was just recently passed?
This is, it's in compliance with state law, and what it prohibits is the texting, emailing, sending, composing, using your hands while your car's in motion. So if you have one of the voice activated devices, you're not prohibited from using it. It's not considered a handheld device. If you have both hands free, you're welcome to talk on your phone or do whatever's necessary, but this is prohibiting emails and text messages while the car's in motion.
Okay.
Provides the maximum fine by state law of $100.
Thank you. I want to make sure that that was pretty clear because I'd actually had a couple of questions about it. You know, do I have to lock my phone up in my, you know, and I said no. But we had discussed it previously, and I wanted that to be clear for everyone. So thank you very much, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Ladies, question? Mr. Trigger, can I talk on my cell phone while I'm driving down the road?
This does not prohibit you talking on your cell phone.
Just texting and those type of things.
Electronic texting,
Email.
composing, sending, emailing.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Mr. Russell?
Commercial it does, right?
I'm sorry.
A commercial vehicle it does, right?
Is a commercial vehicle
Commercial
prohibited?
vehicle, that would be, yes. That's my understanding.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
a
with the,
distraction on
yeah.
commercial vehicles, but you're just in your truck.
So what is a typical private vehicle, you can continue to talk on your cell phone. If you're driving a commercial vehicle, you
Not so
cannot
much.
use your cell phone,
Right.
period.
As long as you're not distracted by it.
Okay. And Mr. Corn and his officers get to be the first judge of that, I guess?
They do. If
Okay.
you're distracted and you're tracking inside your lane or crossing the lane lines, they have every right to pull you over for that.
Okay. Thank you. Any other clarifications, explanations, questions? Thank you, Mr. Sigler.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Call the roll, please.
Russell,
Yes.
Alberts,
Yes.
Yonda,
Yes.
Smystrela,
Yes.
McCarron.
Yes.
Next item is item 5A, and that's consider approving the emergency, please. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion? Call the roll.
Russell,
Yes.
McCarron,
Yes.
Smystrela,
Yes.
Yonda,
Yes.
Alberts.
Yes. The next item is 6, and that's the city manager's report, information items only.
First thing I'd like to talk about is the sales tax report. While not quite as robust as in the several previous months, I'm happy to report that our sales tax was again up by 10.81% over the month last year, leaving our sales tax growth year to date at 16.06% over last year. Very good. We've talked many, many times about the volatility of use tax, and one of the reasons we don't budget use tax is because of its volatility. Our decrease over the same month last year was 53.68%, and our year-to-date decrease is 27.01%. It looks like cigarette tax was up, excise tax was up by 22.4%. All in all, a good report for the month.
Thank you.
On sales tax. Each quarter, the YEDA, the Yukon Economic Development Authority, is required by our memorandum of operation to provide you with a quarterly report. That report for the first quarter of this fiscal year has been provided to you and lays out the activities of the YEDA. I encourage you to take this home and read it diligently at your home. Let's see, where am I? Employee training. We are very pleased, and we have talked previously about our ability within the city of Yukon to go from the single worst workers' comp claim experience city in the state of Oklahoma to the single best city in the state of Oklahoma, and we did it over about a 12 or 15-month period, in large part because we have instituted a very aggressive employee training curriculum. We continue to expand that curriculum, but I wanted you to have just a sampling of all the different kinds of training that our employees have available, some being required, some of them are annual trainings they must complete, and the rest of it is somewhat additional training and elective in nature. But we are very proud of where we have gone on the training, as well as what it has done for our workers' compensation rates moving forward. Also, I wanted to address a situation that occurred, let's see, this would have been a week ago yesterday, when at 3:37 a.m. the National Weather Service issued a red flag warning. Now, there's lots of reasons why that happened, and Cooper, it took him a little while to research exactly what happened, but really and truly, when you read the definitions of red flag warning and the alerts and everything, the call should have never gone out. It was inadvertently triggered by the National Weather Service, and we did call, text, email. We called over 6,400 people before we could get it stopped. What we have done is that there are 7 actual warnings and alerts that we have the community notification system hooked into. As of this week, we have rewritten all of the protocols of the community notification system. It's easier for me to tell you the ones that did not change, and there is only one. If there is a tornado warning that is issued, if it is 2:30 in the morning, we're going to call you every hour until the warning has gone, because it's not a watch. It is a warning, and that is the one that is most dangerous, is the one that is at night, it's dark, it's late, people are in bed, and we're going to go ahead and call you. It doesn't matter what time it is for a tornado warning. Everything else, every other warning, whether it is a blizzard warning, a winter weather advisory, no matter what it is, those will be addressed between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. There will be no night calling on any of those types of warnings moving forward. What we have found in visiting with people who were rightfully upset, we found that it really, by the time the call was finished, everybody was saying, you know, we're really glad we have a notification system. We just wish you'd tweak it to where it wouldn't call us at 3 o'clock in the morning, or 3:30 in the morning, telling us that we're going to be under a fire warning beginning at 11 a.m. So that moving forward, I don't think we have to face that particular issue any longer. At least Cooper has assured me that that is what's going to happen. Haven't you, Gary?
Penalty clause.
On November the 10th, and I'm really only talking about this because I know that on Channel 20 it's being broadcast, but on November the November the 10th, the city of Yukon will hold a charter election. We want everybody to go vote. It is, Mike worked on this very diligently with Doug and I, and this will again bring our charter into alignment with the new state law that has gone into effect, or will go into effect November the 1st. Much like you did earlier this evening related to texting while driving and the use of a communications device while your car is moving to bring us in line with state statute, that's exactly what we're having to do with the charter. The only thing is the charter requires a vote of the people. So on November the 10th, we certainly hope that everybody will remember to go vote. Main Street revitalization. We have been continuously looking at ways to revitalize our Main Street moving forward. It is a long process. We are undertaking the first step of that process, hopefully with a lighting project that will begin out on the eastern edge of our city limits and move up to about 3rd Street, and then again at Garth Brooks and move west all the way out to just short of Richland Road. Later, we will look at a lighting project as part of a total downtown revitalization related to bringing our sidewalks in compliance with ADA and moving forward. I put out for you the tomorrow morning a group of us, a committee of us will come together and review the proposals that have been submitted to date. And what you have in front of you is the grade sheets. These are the questions that we look at as we move through each and every one of the proposals. We grade each of them on all of these different elements and come up with a winner at that time. After that is done, we'll determine when the appropriate time to bring the project to council would be, and then y'all will have a chance to approve or reject the project at that time. The last thing, very quickly, beginning right now, this time of the year, the Parks and Recreation Group gets extremely active, as you are well aware. Yet to go, and we are within 1 week of the end of the month. But within one week, on Saturday we have Spooksville. Then a week, this coming Monday, we have the Mummy Sun Masquerade. On Tuesday, the day after, a week from today, we have Spooky Senior Social, and I go to the second page. On Friday, November the 6th, we have the 10th Annual Patriot Project at the Chisholm Trail Park. Saturday, November the 7th, we have Pumpkin Harvest Craft Festival, Friends of the Library Book Sale. Also, the community coffee on the 13th will be at the Mabel Fry Library. Then it really gets busy after that. We have Chill Your Cheeks on the 21st, along with the Jingle Walk, Kris Kringle Carnival, and the opening of Christmas in the Park. And it just keeps going on and on and on. So it's a very busy time in our Parks and Recreation Department. Mayor, with that, I'll end my report and stand ready for your questions.
Thank you. Ladies, questions? Questions? Thank you, sir. Item 7 is new business.
No, sir.
Item 8, council discussion. Councilman McCarron.
Well, as always, it's a great time to be in Yukon, and this is a really good time of the year. I did want to encourage Mr. Andrews to invite the girls to come to the coffee on Friday. Put a presence there and certainly bring some of their forms. There's a very large number of businesses there that may have an interest in that area. You never know. And so I think where is the community coffee this week? And Yukon Sharing. That's okay. But anyway, you can come out there and hustle the crowd. You know, I think the way to say that is to let them know the lady that's laughing the most in the back there, you can help her. She'll lead you around. Jeannie. And, I really appreciate all of the things, that we have here and are so blessed and just grateful, really. So with that, I yield back, Mayor.
Mr. Russell.
I also would like to thank the student council for coming, and sounds like you've got your hands full with 2,700 coming. That sounds like a real nice get-together. I just want to thank everybody for showing up tonight, and I think that's it for me.
Ms. Meisterloh.
Well, we do appreciate your coming tonight, and Andrew, you're awesome. I guess everybody knows that. But you're continuing to do that. We appreciate you. And I would like to have one of your donation things if you have it. Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Yonda.
Well, great news on the sales tax, and I want to encourage everyone to continue to shop in Yukon. And then I want to say congratulations to Staff Sergeant Mark Mercer. I know he's left, but congratulations on an outstanding honor, and we appreciate him serving our country. And thank you, leadership class, for being here, and good luck in your upcoming convention, and I'll see you after the meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Andrews, how many times have you hosted now? Fifth time. Okay. Well, so it's worthwhile, so if the community can get involved or donate and help in any way, it's made a difference in Mr. Andrews' life, and it certainly made a difference in my life. So it's a big impact, and it means a lot to these kids and to the kids that come from all over the state. And for us to be able to host this and to showcase the city, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of. Do the kids still stay in homes? I guess they don't do that anymore. Okay.
5 years ago, we moved away from that.
Stop that.
So they are going to be very, very plentiful in the hotels and the
Okay.
restaurants in the community.
So we'll be using the businesses here locally, so we hope that maybe the businesses will get involved and share and be a part of it. So I look forward. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And with no other business before the council, we stand adjourned.